Hi.
Welcome, friends. Here we are. We're two friends, one path, and we are recovered. We've got a good friend with us today. His name is Stephen, and he's going to tell us a little bit of his story, and we're really excited to hear it. Kathy, you want to start off with our disclaimer?
Of course. My name's Kathy. I'm an alcoholic. This is solely our opinion. We are not affiliated with any group or program. Our sole purpose is to help others fighting addiction and/or alcoholism, and to offer help and knowledge on how we stay sober. This 100% raw and real talk. We do cuss, we do tell war stories, we do cry, we do laugh, but we do recover. All right. Later on, I'm going to give you the 1-800 numbers for help, because there's always help available. There's never a reason to not go to rehab, not seek that help that is readily available. So with that being said, we'll let Jessica take it over.
Well, my name is Jessica, and I'm an addict. Welcome, everyone. We've had a good friend here who has been watching us from the start and has been like super, super stoked and excited to tell us how he got sober. Yes. And I'm super proud of him, because I'm going to tell you, we've been friends for a while, and I've seen him go up and down, and he watched me do it for a long time.
Sure did.
So today, he gets to come and tell everybody else how he finally figured it out, and I'm so proud of him. Go ahead, Stephen. Take it away.
My name is Stephen Holmes, and I'm an addict.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen.
Thank you. It's really great to be here, first and foremost. And my objective here is not to try to change anybody's mind. It's just here. I'm here to plant a seed. When you're ready to change your heart, you'll change your heart. Maybe this seed will blossom. I'm a ex-methamphetamine addict for 25 years of my life. Over 25 years, actually. Every day.
Speed.
That's right, speed. Over 25 years of my life, speed was my go-to. If you saw me out anywhere, I was high, whether I wanted you to know it or not. And many, many people in my life never had a clue. Childhood started off, we'll just go back to the beginning. Lived in a pretty dysfunctional home. My father was an ex-Marine. He was force recon in Vietnam, which was special forces. He never sought any help after Vietnam for the traumatic stuff that happened to him there. And it bled through in our family life. And I was the firstborn of 3 boys. A certain memory, what started everything really, being 6 years old, mom working a second shift job, and dad working during the day. I had about 2 or 3 hours every afternoon by myself coming home. One afternoon when I was about 6 years old, I was making a sandwich, dropped the mayonnaise, it spilled all over the floor and busted. And I can remember thinking, oh God, Dad's going to be so mad, because my dad was also an alcoholic. I was trying to clean up the mess. I made a bigger mess. It was a huge thing. Dad came home all drunk, and he beat me up pretty good. I had a broken arm, busted up face. Mom realized all this, kept me out of school the next day. And actually, we were out of school for some reason. I don't know why. I can't remember that far back like that. But I went to a friend of mine's house in the neighborhood, and his mom kept me there and called the police. One thing led to another. Both my parents went to jail. My father for child abuse, my mother for failure to report. And this is back in 1983. When all this happened, we were in foster home. Me and my 2 younger brothers were in foster homes for a little over 2 years. And the state would not give us back to my mother until she divorced my dad, which that was a long, ongoing thing. When they did, my mom did get us back, me being the oldest of 3 and headstrong and stubborn and just being a dumb kid, did whatever I wanted. Mom had no control. She was too busy trying to pay the bills, working her butt off to take care of these 3 boys. And I pretty much did what I wanted. A lot of things I'm not proud of. A lot of the ways I spoke to my mother, not proud of. there's a lot of things on this that y'all are going to hear that I'm not proud of, but at the same time I am, because it led me to where I'm at today. Because without any pain, you can't feel any pleasure that lasts.
That's the truth.
And that's a fact. You have to live through some turmoil before you can appreciate the goodness in your life.
Amen.
And I'm a firm believer in that, because Lord knows I've done some bad things. But with that being said, when we did get back to Mom, I was approximately 8 or 9, and I was hell on wheels. I did whatever I want. Mom couldn't control me. I was stealing cars at 10 years old. The first 2 weeks of 6th grade, people, if you were in the 6th grade class with me, you remember the first 2 weeks of Conyers Middle School, the police came and got Stephen, and nobody saw him again for 2.5 months because he was a juvenile. Therefore, making a name for myself right then and there.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 12.
Wow, in juvenile at 12 years old.
Yeah, in Gwinnett County, YDC. From the very first part of the 6th grade year until December of that year. I remember I got out December 2nd. For some reason, that just stuck with me that date.
Were you the oldest one?
I'm the oldest of 3.
No, in YC, was there?
No.
You were the youngest kid in there, probably.
No, I was just
About me, really?
Yeah, because anywhere, but well, I was a little on the younger side, because most of them were 13, 15, 16 years old,
Okay.
I was on the younger side of things, and in and out of group homes because I just couldn't act right. I did whatever I wanted. I made all my friends were all older with cars. I've always been a hot rod junkie. I always loved anything fast enough to do something stupid in. And and I still am like that to this day. I'm a grease monkey. That's what I do for a living. Great. I'm a good mechanic. But continuing on with that, in and out of group homes. Never really flirted with any drugs until I'd have to say it was about 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade. And it all starts with pot, Did that, was a weed head through my early teenage years. And, but what really started my addiction and started the path of destruction was the first time I touched speed. And I'll never forget sitting in the parking lot at the Crystal Palace that night.
Oh gosh, that's where you started.
Yeah, that's where I started. Feeling amazing. Oh my gosh, what is this? This makes me feel amazing. I can dance all night.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. My insecurities are gone. And it's funny because all that comes back around and you end up very insecure. You close yourself off from the world when your addiction progresses.
Mm-hmm.
And you start out doing it as a social thing. And it's amazing that it just does a complete 180.
Takes everything you think is given to you.
Takes everything.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting in the Crystal Palace parking lot that night, and I remember that the next day, and I ended up being up for 2 or 3 days after that, and that's back when the drug was different than it is these days.
A lot cleaner than
it was.
Yeah,
it was a lot cleaner. It didn't hurt as bad coming off, and it was much easier to stay addicted and to get addicted. I just never stopped. I never could, as much as I wanted to. After a few years of living like that, it was fun at first, and then it starts taking
until it wasn't.
That's right.
Yes, and so I was a very functioning addict, though. I've always kept a good job. I have a good skill set. I have a great
work ethic,
a great work ethic, a great career. Everybody's gonna need the car worked on eventually. And I'm good at it, so but it just because I was a functioning addict doesn't mean that there wasn't something wrong.
Right.
So there was many times in and out of jail for little misdemeanor stuff, and eventually I did get caught with some of the speed and caught some a felony or 2. Did a little time in prison, 33 months actually. But it really wasn't because of speed. It was because of probation violation and accusations of things that I ended up beating, which we won't go into detail about all that. I'm trying to think how I should progress with this. It's just a whole lifetime. I'm 49 years old. I've battled this all the way up until last year, and I'm proud to say that the 27th of this month I'll be 8 months totally sober.
That's great.
It's a blessing. It feels so good to have a clear head and to be doing this and to be sitting here with you guys. I'm just so happy.
Well, we're happy.
I
you're
really
here.
am happy.
I'm
I've been
glad to
pumped
see
and
you
ready for this, and
turning
a
the light
little bit
around.
more nervous, but it's
Well,
great.
tell us at the pinnacle, like when you got to the point where you realized you were just done. You know, it had taken everything from you. It had completely destroyed all you had.
What I'd like to say is that this time last year, I had accepted that as to who I was. I was the functioning addict. I was the guy who got it done, but still was closed off from the world because I was lost in my addiction. I was so scared of. It's almost like I can relate it in a lot of ways to a breakup. If you've loved someone, and you lose that someone, addiction is the same thing. You look at your substance as,
Your friend, your girlfriend, your
and
lover,
It's
your
somebody you
everything.
depend on.
Yeah,
And
most
I
definitely.
so cannot agree more.
You know?
Oh my God, I had to
it
have a
was
funeral
scary.
for my best friend.
Very scary.
She's buried. He is buried out the backyard.
Yeah.
After I got out of rehab, I went and bought a bottle of the red stuff that has a devil on it, and I poured it out and buried it.
I had to write a breakup letter with mine in rehab. I had to write a breakup letter and tell it how disgusting it was and how it had changed everything about me. And it does. But you're right. You do feel like you absolutely
That's
have
the best
to.
thing I can relate to.
You grieve the loss.
God, like you
Dreams. I still dream about it.
You will.
And it's just one of those things, and I knew the whole time in the back of my head, I've got to stop doing this all the time. And it sucked having to hide it from people and having to be aware of your little twitches that you get when you do that specific drug.
But see, the funny thing is we all think people don't see us.
But
But they do. You're hiding from yourself. There's a little thing that we used to always talk about in rehab. We'd be like, you don't see me. But
Yeah.
they did. They saw everything you did.
Or they smelt you.
Yeah.
In my case, they smelt.
Yeah.
I would carry around big red chewing gum
to cover up.
to cover up the cinnamon smell.
My dad would walk around with a potato in his pocket because he was a vodka man, and he thought for some reason that raw potatoes got rid of it off his breath. And he would walk around with pieces of potato in his pocket to eat because he was that far gone.
I never would have
Never
heard that.
heard that.
Yeah, that's old
most
school
vodka
stuff.
is made out of potatoes.
Yeah. So I guess I never understood that, but it was really weird to me. But that was his way of covering things up. Dad was a very ornery, quiet, unless he was bitching about something, or he had quite the temper. Full-blooded German. Like I say, Force Recon in Vietnam really fucked him up. And as much as I hate to say that, he never told me he loved me, but I knew he did. For example, when I got my first job working on cars, I quit school at 16 because I knew it all. Yeah, but Dad, he showed his love. He bought me a toolbox. Because it wasn't a week later, I had a job at a little place over there in Conyers, in which I was at for 7 years, and they sent me to school and all that good stuff. But he never would say the words, I remember going to visit him in prison many times, and he never would say the words. He'd just, I'd say, I love you, Dad. Yeah. And it's kind of tough.
That's hard on a kid.
Exactly.
That's hard on a kid
Exactly.
to not feel, even though they do, not to hear it or them to express it. A lot of us alcoholics and addicts came from very broken homes, places that we don't feel loved. It's so funny. Your story resonates with me so much because, the part of coming from a dysfunctional family. My mother was an alcoholic. I went to YDC.
Yeah.
I ran the household. I did what the hell I wanted to because my dad just was depressed and wanted to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So I did what I wanted. I was in bars very young. I shouldn't have been doing it. And everybody's story, I believe, sounds kind of something like that.
Yeah.
Most of us, not everybody,
But you
but a
know,
lot of us sound the same.
and that's the way the young brain gets wired. That's the analogy I like to use because I'm a mechanic. You know, the wiring up here is set whenever you're young, and it's based on how you're raised. You know, it's based on your surroundings. And when you identify addiction and you really wholeheartedly throw yourself into fixing that addiction, you got to rewire some shit.
Yep, you got to unlearn everything you had learned before.
And, you know,
So nowadays, what do you do to keep yourself sober? What
the very best thing, because I don't do the 12-step.
Okay.
I believe in a lot of the things in the 12-step, and I try to work those. But the biggest thing that keeps me sober every day, and you'll understand this after I tell you what happened to bring me to the light. I get up and I talk to God. Before I pick up that phone in the morning and look at Facebook or look at TikTok or look at anything, I sit down and I talk with God. I have my cigarette and I have my coffee with Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And that's the best thing that has changed my life, is really getting to know my Lord and Savior. Asking Him every day, thanking Him first and foremost
There you
for
go.
saving my life.
There you go.
And just getting with Him. I ask Him every morning, Lord, please get into my head before I do.
Ooh, I like that. That's powerful.
Because, and it's true, if He
That's
does,
powerful. Say that again.
Lord, please get into my head before I do.
I love that.
And if I can do that and keep that mindset, everything in life is better. I can have the hardest days now sober trumps the best days I had as an addict.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hands down the truth. Even though things are hard, you know, I went through life being an addict, coming back and, you know, trying to, in my mid 30s, I attempted to stop, but I just started drinking.
You swapped it for something
I
else.
swapped it for something else.
We do that a lot.
And whiskey was the thing. And it got to where I was drinking a bottle a day. And you can't control yourself like you can't, excuse me. You can't control yourself with alcohol like you can with speed, you know. And it's two totally different realms of being high. And it's so crazy, but 80% of people who stop speed end up becoming alcoholics. And plus it's in my genes and all that good stuff from dad. But I attempted to stop then. It didn't work out very well. I ended up in prison real quick because, like I say, can't control yourself on alcohol. And me being in Motorhead like I am, in September of 2008, I can remember I was working for my buddy, had my own work truck. I just went through a breakup, and I was sitting at the bar one day eating. What can I say the word?
I'd say a downer.
Yeah, I was sitting there eating downers and drinking whiskey, and got this bottle, and I knew I was getting really messed up, so I was thinking, I gotta go get me some speed to get my mind back so I can function a little bit.
Or if something else was always the answer. Oh, if I overdid it here, I'd cut it with this.
Yes.
If I underdid it there, I'd bring myself up this way. Why was that always the way to do
I just
it?
don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. Keep going.
It's the devil working his magic and with lies. But I left
the same shit since the beginning of time.
I was on the phone, and I know we're not supposed to really say anybody's names. I was on the phone with a good friend of mine. On the way, an acquaintance of mine. On the way, and he heard the wreck. I took out 3 cars and 2 gas pumps at the intersection of Allman Road and I-20. Made the news. I woke up 2 days later. This was on a Sunday, September 28th, 2008. I woke up that following Tuesday in jail, not knowing what had happened. Completely blacked out. And I was lucky. It was when we were having a gas crisis, and gas was like $5 a gallon. I got 3 cars and 2 gas pumps and survived and didn't kill anybody. And that was God's first warning. That was His first warning in my life. And I should have woken up then, but I didn't. Went and did about 2 years in prison off that one. And got out and went right back to speed. You know, I
That one didn't work. Let's go back to what we knew that worked before.
Because and in my mind, in my addictive mind at the time, I'm thinking, well, you know what? I never got out of control with speed. I could always handle things and get things done and not be inebriated to where I couldn't function like I did with alcohol. And so I went on with my speed, and it was horrible. It was just horrible having to always thinking about how am I going to pass this drug test for probation? How am I going to pull the wool over these people's eyes?
We think we can do that so easily.
And some
I'm
people
just
made
saying.
it for a long time. I did it for a long
I was
time.
convinced that nobody could smell the
Cinnamon.
cinnamon.
I tell you,
I was convinced of it.
a funny, my employer, who is a fabulous guy, and I know we're not supposed to really.
You can say names or
I
whatever.
can.
Yeah.
As long as they're okay with it.
Oh, they were. And actually, if y'all need your cars worked on, Gonzalez Automotive and Diesel,
Awesome.
Washington Street, Covington. You won't find nobody better. But my boss, Manny, we were running a mobile service at the time. Well, I should really hold that until I get to the part
The
about
important,
the important stuff.
Go ahead.
So, actually, the last time that I got to hang out with you and Mike, I think, was when Lee and I were together.
That's correct.
And we had a nice, me and her had it going on. She had a great job at Lowe's. I was doing
Nice
well.
house.
Really nice.
A nice bike. You had your
Yeah,
stuff
still
going
got
on.
my bike.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never get rid of that.
There you go.
But we were doing it. But I was also hiding my addiction from her. And that lasted about 2 years. She had not a clue.
Till she found it.
No, until a friend of mine, an acquaintance of mine, ratted me out because he was trying to get in her pants.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Isn't that something? So I came honest with her, and she actually tried to work with me on it. It really killed her. It really killed the trust. And once the trust is gone, as that many of you know, if you love someone and they violate that trust, it's the hardest thing in the world to fix. It really, really is. And at the same, because I've been lying to her the whole time, she's like, "Is this whole relationship been a lie?" In a way, yes.
Mm.
And unfortunately, that's one of those pills I had. It's a lot of guilt and shame that come with stuff like that. But I have since, this past year, it's been the biggest year of my life, and I've forgiven myself for that. I tried like hell to go back and to make things right with her and to kiss her butt. But you know what? When it was all said and done, she couldn't let go of the hurt. And she looked for stuff to think bad of me of. And the trust was broken. You can't blame her.
It's hard to get back.
It really is. And then my addiction is the thing that really violated her trust, because after that, even though we were trying to work on things, I met a girl who was, I thought, everything I wanted.
Mm.
The beautiful blonde with the hot rod, and I could go over and get high with her. I was not judged. And that just progressed and into something, and it, unfortunately, she didn't look at me like I looked at her. She didn't, I thought she was everything I ever wanted. Then the devil comes to you dressed as everything you think you want.
Oh, the devil's beautiful till
The
you get
devil is beautiful until
If
it
anybody thinks the
has to get
devil is
real.
red horns and all that and all ugly, no. The devil was the most beautiful angel and can
Really?
dress as something absolutely gorgeous and so breathtaking till you get in it.
So, yep.
Till you get in that shit.
And then once you're there and you're stuck in that situation, I ended up leaving Lee and leaving that good home and leaving that woman who really loved me, because I broke her so bad that love was just not going to happen again. And that was a hard pill to swallow. So of course I'm chasing the one I think I want. End up going and staying with her. And for 4 years, the last 4 years of my life, I chased that one and gave love that wasn't reciprocated. And plus it was a speed-induced psychosis. It was just part of who we were. This time last year, I just accepted, this is who I am. I can't ever quit this. This is who I am. I'm doing okay, but I would have never excelled.
You would have never been more than that.
Never would have been more than
Never
that.
then would have been more than just an addict that was just there.
Yeah. And so in fast forward a little bit to June of last year, after last spring, I accepted who I was, and it was very sad. It was the darkest time of my life, hands down. I was doing okay. I was working every day. Manny and I ran a mobile mechanic business before he opened the shop, and after a speed-induced sexcapade, Jesus Christ slapped me in the head with an aneurysm, a brain aneurysm.
Tell the story.
And
Yeah, tell it.
I remember just thinking, I felt it. It was right after my orgasm. My brain just popped, almost like blowing a bubble when you're chewing gum. I felt this little pop, and I was like, something just popped in my head. And somehow or another, I don't understand. I still think it was God and Jesus jumped in the devil's body and took over that night. Because it was like 5 a.m. on a Friday morning. I had to be at work in 2 hours, but that was my normal routine.
Yeah, me too.
From 4 to 6, I slept. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. And
or just lay
go
there.
to work. Yeah.
Or just lay there.
Well, I guess because I usually ran myself to the ground,
Right.
Because I do love what I do, and I do have an excellent work ethic. That's the one good thing I got from my daddy, is that I'm not afraid of work. But I felt the pop. I said, oh my gosh, I felt a pop. And she's like, oh my God, you're having a brain aneurysm. And she called it right there on the spot.
How did she know?
I don't know, but she knew. I remember hearing that. The last thing I heard was, oh my God, you're having a brain aneurysm. And about 10 seconds later, my world turned black. And I experienced the worst pain, the worst headache, hands down, I've ever experienced. And I've had kidney stones. I know what some pain is. And that trumped everything because it literally knocked me out. After sitting there screaming for a minute, trying to get my pants up, I don't know how it happened, but she managed to get me dressed and in her car, and we rushed to the hospital, and which I remember bits and pieces of. I remember us getting to the emergency room and me trying to open the door and get out of the car, and I just fell, and I don't remember anything after that. But she got me to the hospital. I was life flighted to Piedmont, Atlanta. And it's crazy technology these days, because you'd think I'd have this big old scar, because it was right here in my left frontal cortex. But I have a scar right here on my hip, where they come in with something, went up in my body, gave me 3 platinum coils to stop the bleeding. And I remember thinking, whenever she said that, it kind of clicked, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. Please.
Okay.
I remember thinking and begging the Lord, please, not like this. Don't take me this way, please. Because I knew I was in the dark space. I knew I was not in the... It was horrible. I was never been so scared. I've never been so scared in my life. And I thought that was it. And I was like, man, this whole life, it ends like this right now? No. So, like I said, that was on a Friday morning. I woke up Saturday evening in the Piedmont, Atlanta, on the 5th floor in the ICU with all the people in my life that love me, including the devil. That's what I call her now. This is the devil. She was there, of course, didn't say anything. And I remember when I first opened my eyes after the surgery, the surgeon who had actually fixed me, he said, Mr. Holmes, it's your life. And of course, Al really won't let me say exactly what he said, but he said, if you don't stop your speed use, you will not be that lucky next time. You are a lucky man. And right then and there, I smiled. And I knew I was going to be okay. I was paralyzed on my right side. It took me about 3 weeks to learn to walk again. I was in the ICU for 14 days. But that day, that Saturday, and then those next 2 weeks laying in that bed, the gratitude and the love from my true friends who showed up really hit me. Really hit me. I'm so very blessed. I'm so very blessed to have such good lifelong friends, because I've been in this area since I was 6 years old, in the Conyers Covington area, and I've got 40 plus year friendships. Rachel, I love you. She was there. my best friend, two of my best friends, Chuck Evans, Tom Baldwin, love you. Tom looked like he was in a state of shock. Because he worked right down the road from Piedmont.
Yep.
And he would be there every day. And Chuck came in all the time. I mean, these people would come all this way to downtown Atlanta
Both great guys.
just to visit. And you know, me and Tom have stayed close. I loved Chuck from a distance a lot of times because I was ashamed of guilt, because he knew.
Mm-hmm.
He knew. He could look at me and tell I wasn't bullshitting nobody. You know, he knew.
Mm-hmm. He knew.
And
he knew you better than most.
He does. He does know me better than most, and he's such a good friend.
He loves you so much. That's your brother, you know.
He is. He is. But you know, when I woke up and the whole learning to walk again, and the whole just being a lot of the ICU and a lot of the time directly after the aneurysm is a lot of brain fog, because there's brain damage. I used to be very quick, very on point. I could talk with the best of them. I was very, very smart. My dad has 138 IQ. I think I'm my size high as his, but I've got some smarts in me. I'm not stupid, but I'm slower, and it's been a big adjustment to accept that slow is okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Everything's okay.
You got a new lease on life.
A new lease on life. You know, I'm just so thankful to be blessed with such good people in my life, hands down. But when Manny, my boss, is the one who came and got me from the ICU, when they finally cut me loose, that day, you know, he never knew about my addiction.
Wow.
I had lied to him.
So how long were you working with him?
I had been working with him from February until it happened in June, and daily, on the daily.
Wow.
Had a pipe in my pocket all the time. He never had a clue.
You know, my best friend Todd, I was high every day till the one day I wasn't, and that's when he thought something was wrong.
Yeah, that's funny how
That's when
that
he
is.
was like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm sober today.
When Manny picked me up from the ICU, he stopped working that day. I was like, I need somebody to come get me, please. I'll be there in a minute. And when he walked in the room, he looked at me, and the first thing he said, I see it now.
There you go.
I see it now. He said, I can't believe that I didn't see it before, but I see it now because I see the light in your eye now.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'll never forget that moment. I went and stayed with Manny for the first 2 weeks after I got out of the ICU, and we went back over to the Devil's House to get my clothes. I own a camper over there, and I just left it over there because too many triggers there.
Yeah, you need to get far away from that situation.
Oh yeah, I have. I've cut it completely off. Completely off. She sees me happy now on social media, and she's been trying to make fake profiles and hit me up with friends. And I see right through you, woman. No, yeah, what's the matter? Nobody's there to take care of you now? Oh, get off your butt and do something for yourself. That's all I got to say about that. But when Manny came, and I stayed at his house, which was rough because his wife was literally two days after I left his house, his wife had their baby.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so it was rough. But he was so awesome. Like I say, he said, I see it now. And we went back over to the Devil's House because I had to get some clothes. I had to get some belongings. And I gathered everything up in my little camper that I had over there in her front yard. All my paraphernalia, so to speak. And took it out, and I had me a little 3-pound sledgehammer, and we had us a moment. One of the best moments of my life is when I finally brought the hammer down on those pipes and on those devices that I used to inject my speed.
Freedom.
And I was so nervous, and I was just like, here I go. This is it. That was the goodbye. And I had a witness, and God was there.
Mm-hmm. I'm so proud of you, Steve. I'm so proud of you. Victory, right? Victory, you did it.
But another thing, you know, when I was laying in the ICU, like right when I woke up, I was like, I need to talk to somebody from the church. I need to call Justin Adams. I need to call my buddy Nick, who's the leader of the motorcycle ministry. And if you guys need a good church, please come to New Life Praise Center in Covington. It's the best church ever.
I hear a lot of good things.
Ever. I just love that place. And I've been going on and off because my faith has always been strong. grandfather on mom's side was a preacher. He died exactly 1 week before I was born. Everyone who sees me in the family is just like, there's a little shit. And he was a minister. He was such a good man. I never got to meet him, but I've heard nothing but good things. They say I laugh, walk, everything like him. And so I use that in a way. It's always been something that just keeps my faith going.
Right.
Because I've always believed. I love Jesus Christ. Sure, I got away from him. Sure, I flirted and danced with the devil many nights, but my faith has always been strong. But only recently has my relationship with Christ gotten closer and stronger because of what I do, what I've made into a habit. I cannot do my morning. Most people can't do it without coffee. I can't do it without Jesus.
Amen.
You know? And it feels so good not to wake up and hit the pipe.
You don't need it.
No, I don't, because there's something better. Like I say, before I even pick up the phone, I roll out of bed, I get on my knees, and I thank him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's just the trick. To me, that's what works for me.
Well, I told everybody all the time about my good friend Jimmy from another group. But if anybody ever relapsed, the first thing he'd say was, "Did you pray? And
Yeah.
did you ask God to keep you sober that day?"
Yes.
And usually no. And then that night he tells you to always thank him. You know, and I do that daily, every day.
You have
And
to.
so far it works for me.
It does. And he may not hear you, and everything is in his will and his plan and his time. And that's what
That's the
frustrates so
key.
many people.
His time.
His time. You know, he may be holding out, and you may be hurting, and you may be wishing this would happen, and why is God not listening to me? Trust me, he is. He is. You just have to continue to believe and have the faith.
And acceptance. Acceptance.
The relationship with God is so important. If you don't build your relationship, it's just like any other thing. If you're in a relationship with a woman or a man and you don't feed it, it's just like a plant. It's going to die.
That's right.
You know, you have to put in
Maintenance daily.
maintenance. Hello, if you don't change the oil in your car, it ain't gonna last long.
So anything else other than your time with God, what else do you do to help you maintain your recovery?
Well,
Because you don't do really AA.
no, I don't.
Watching our
like doing that.
podcast, of course, helps.
I do. I like watching different speakers and things on social media which are positive. I wish I could think of some of the names right now, but brain fog, a little bit.
It's okay.
But other things I do, I call and talk to people. I call. I've got some friends out there that are still lost. I had to cut out about 80% of the people in my life.
And that's just hard, isn't
That
it?
is not when you're around the same area your whole life and you know these people and you've built relationships with these people, even if it was speed induced, that doesn't mean there wasn't love there. That doesn't mean there will always be love for these people. I mean, there's some people I miss dearly, and we still chat, and they want me to come over, and they're like, "We'll put it up. You know, we just want to see you again. We miss you. Will you help us with our car? Da 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 da. You know." And I'm just like, all in due time. I'm not scared, but I'm not going to go over there alone.
No.
There's
My best advice is while they're still doing that, to stay away.
Oh yeah, and that's what I've been doing. I mean, It just is because if you know it's there, that drug is so powerful.
Have you seen it face to face since you've been sober?
Yes, I have. When I went over, and we went to go get my stuff from the trailer, she was actually sitting in there, and I look over on the microwave and there's a cigarette pack right there. She's like, "Will you hand me that cigarette pack?" And I'm just like, I opened it up because I shook it, and I had it in my hand. And I just took it out, threw it. I was like, I got to go. I got to go right now.
You're disgusted by
I
it.
was disgusted by
Good.
it.
That's a great thing.
Because when I woke up, the doctor said, "Mr. Holmes, you won't be that lucky next time." And I've been looking for a way out for years. I hated myself.
I said that I punished myself.
I did. I punished myself, but the sad thing is that, like I said, this time last year, this is who I am. This is how it's going to be. I had given up the hope. Literally, I just had acceptance in that dark realm of life. If you
So
call
what can
it
you
that.
tell somebody out there now that has just accepted their addiction or their alcoholism for what they are?
There is hope. There is hope. The key, people, is to surround yourself with positivity. get your relationship with your Creator right, whether it's Jesus, God, Allah, whatever your higher power, whatever it may be, because there's a lot of different views and a lot of different perspectives.
And we don't judge any of them.
No, absolutely
We
not.
want you to have your own God, and
Yeah.
please. But I hear this daily from every person who has ever recovered from alcoholism or drug addiction, that a connection with their God is the number one
It's the
thing.
number one thing.
Number one thing.
Yeah.
Period.
Number one.
That's what the 12 steps do. They lead you to a God.
Mhm.
Your God slapped you in the face and said, "Hey, wake up,
My
buddy."
lady likes to say he bitch slapped me.
So,
Well, let me tell you, talking about a higher power, and I say this all the time. If you tell me that this chair is your higher power, and okay, I'm going to give my life and my judgment over to this chair and lead me to stay sober, an instant miracle happens.
it does.
Instant.
Because your life is no longer in the hands of a freaking idiot.
Amen.
Right.
Ooh, there you go, Kathy.
Amen.
So,
Yeah.
it's just a matter. I have so many people that come to me, oh, I don't believe in the burning bush and da 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 da.
Right.
Okay, you don't have to.
No, you don't. You really
You
don't.
just have to believe that for 24 hours, I'm going to rely on this cup,
Yeah.
that God, this plant, whatever, to keep me sober and to keep me going for just 24 hours.
Yeah.
At a time.
And
24 hours.
And even though you may not be an AA and a supporter per se, please look at the book and look at the thing for agnostics. If you're having trouble finding your higher power, please read the chapter on us agnostics.
We agnostic.
Yes, you have to do that and find your own way. I'm just so happy that my friends who had Rachel had to love me from a distance for years, and there were so many times that she needed me and I wasn't there because of my addiction. The positive father figure in my life was her dad, Mr. Ray Russo, the best man I've ever known. The best man I've ever known. He died not this past May, but the May before, and I was locked up. I could not make it to his funeral. Stupid regret, stupid shame there. But I forgive myself. I know Ray's in heaven. He's smiling on me now.
Mm-hmm.
He was the man. Rachel was the girl who lived 2 trailers up from me growing up, and her daddy took me under his wing. She was an only child, an only girl. He was a hot rod guy. Mama Jean and Daddy Ray were the coolest people ever. He took me under his wing as his son and showed me about cars, showed me how a man can actually say I love you, yet still be big and tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How a good man is supposed to be. And the light and the positivity of me being a man now, grown, almost 50 years old, all that positivity, I got it from Ray, hands down. And I miss him dearly.
He was gifted to you, you know that.
He
right?
was. He was. God sends you people.
God does, man.
And that's where I want to go with this next one. I stayed with Rachel after the aneurysm. After I left Manny's, I went and stayed with Chuck for a little while. Things were a little bit too much over at Chuck's, and plus my brain and the way Chuck is, he's very adamant in his ways, and his perspective on things is not quite the same as mine, but I love him dearly anyway, and he tries to help in his own way. We had left trying to go get more stuff from the Devil's House, and I was very upset that night, and we had to go out to eat. Anyway, it turned bad, and I ended up cussing him out. And I was just like, Rachel, come and get me. Please come and get me before I kill him. And so she did. And the next 6 months, Rachel lives out in the country, out in social circle. She's very private. You're not going to bring a party to her house. You're not going to bring negative people to her house. She will not allow it.
No.
She will, nothing. If it don't lift her up, you ain't invited. And
That's a good policy.
I mean, and it is, and that's why she's come so far. She's so.
That's why I don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Because you bring in the 3 Ds.
Well, I'm so
drinking,
grateful.
drugs, trauma.
I'm so, when we were at the hospital, she's like, Stephen, you can't come out here and stay with, because I was like, what am I going to do now? I can't go back to her house, to the Devil's House. What can I do? And me and my brother had a falling out. I was not allowed. He had a restraining order on me. I couldn't even go to my mom's house because of him, which we've reconciled. a little bit. We're still not
It's
talking.
progress. It's
It
work in
is, and
progress.
and that didn't even happen until Christmas of this year, which is okay.
So tell me, now that you've done all this, what is life like today?
Life is so much better today. It's hard. It's hard. I tried to go back to work too early. I tried to go back in September. See, and Manny and I had the mobile business going, and we were doing great. He landed a good deal on that shop on Washington Street in August, and I tried to come back to work in September, and it lasted through October. But my brain fog was real, and I was messing stuff up, and I wasn't that Steven he was used to. So he had to fire me for a little while. He paid, but this is the kind of person he is. He paid off my Matco tool bill when he fired me. I mean, and that's just amazing. And he said, we're going to try it again in a few months. Let's just give you a few more months to heal, and which we have. And I just started back in January, and I'm doing pretty good, doing a lot better than I was.
Good.
And but he works with me on that. He knows towards the end of the week, after I've worked hard, because I push it too hard, and I'm learning how to step back and
We
take
as
deep
addicts,
breaths.
we do too much.
Yeah.
We push ourselves to the point of just exhaustion and past the point where we should stop every time.
And the brain fog is a vicious cycle, I like to say, because in my line of work, if you don't have patience, you're not going to be a good mechanic. If you can't take a deep breath and take your time. If you're trying to rush through everything, you're going to miss something. And but it's getting better every single day as I work it. It's getting, I'm praying more and getting to know Jesus more. Well, like I say, I recently went back to work, and man, he's great.
Tell me
He
about
really
this new
is.
lady in your life.
Yeah.
Tell
While
me.
I was
Look
out.
at the
Yeah.
smile. The new lady, and it's like
Yeah.
instant.
I'll tell you what, after all the bullshit with people that love me that I didn't love back, and with people that I tried to love that wouldn't reciprocate it, that 6 months I've stayed out at Rachel's and doing my healing, and thank God for her in the country, getting closer to Jesus. I prayed and just begged God to send me someone. And the thing about my new lady, we had went on one date prior to my aneurysm, about a month before my aneurysm. We had a great date, but she saw right through me. She's not stupid. Even though I lied to her, I said, "Oh, I used to be an addict." She knew I was still one. And we went on one great date. It was great, and that was it. I got lost. I was lost, and we didn't talk again. And she just kind of blew it off, like, "Oh well, no loss there," because she knew. Well, in November of this year, I never got her out of my head after when all this happened, because that was really the best time I had with a woman in I don't know how long. And all we did was go to Turtle Lake Park and walk around, and then go to Dunkin' Donuts.
Cool.
That was it. But it was just such a good, I felt it. And the energy that her and I bring, if you've ever met her, the energy that we bring to a place, everybody there's jealous. For good reason.
Oh, that's
Because
good.
That's good.
we are, there's no question in my mind. I've made a promise to myself while I was out in the country healing that the next woman I sleep with is going to be the last woman I sleep with. Hands down. I don't want no more, because there were many years there where I was a little slut.
You was a
believe
hoe.
it. I believe you.
You was a hoe.
You know.
God, you was a hoe.
Girl.
He was a hoe.
I was. I'm not going to lie about it.
He was a hoe.
Nothing I'm proud of. And for any hearts that I broke or any people that broke mine, it comes around, goes around. And karma is real.
Oh my God, karma. Speaking of karma. Well,
But good karma comes around too. If you do good things and you live genuinely, you will sure enough get some good stuff. But okay, so I was praying for her, and I hit her up on the TikTok. Actually, I hit her up on a message there. I was like, "Hey, how you been? Sure would like to see you, talk to you. How you been?" And we just got to talking, and we didn't really see each other until after the first of the year because the whole holiday hustle and bustle.
right.
But we did, and it's been unstoppable ever since.
That's
It's
good.
been unstoppable, and this is proof that God is real and that God has an excellent sense of humor. God gave me a crystal Beth and took away the other word. Just change one letter.
M3TH. The crystal M3TH.
And she is absolutely gorgeous. You might know her.
Well,
She looked familiar. We were talking
She
about
worked
her.
at Caddy's back in the day.
That
Long
lady-
time ago when she was about 17.
You know, she owned Caddies.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Crystal. Pretty little blonde girl.
We'll have to look later. How much time we got?
we've got about 10 more minutes.
Yeah, but Crystal is absolutely gorgeous. It's such a beautiful soul. Such an uplifting person. She is,
That's good. You can tell that you just lit up as soon as you started talking about her.
I
And you
married-
saying,
I would marry her today if I could.
oh Lord.
And I've never
Oh,
said
we're
that.
dating. No, we're dating. Oh, I got you, man. I got you. I got you.
Was
Always-
that kind of a proposal?
No, it wasn't.
No,
But,
he
but
better
you know
do it right.
what?
He
But
better
you know
do it
what?
right.
But you know what? Rachel told me. She said I had a dream, and her dreams come true.
Mhm.
She said that next time, this spring of next year, I saw you I saw you with a blonde in a wedding dress.
gosh.
But marriage is just I know for a fact that this is the one that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with.
Good.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my
Good.
mind. There hasn't been a question since we've been seeing each other, and since we both go out of our way to make each other happy. We both support and lift each other up, and it's just something that I've never experienced so genuine like this, and been in a clear frame of mind to where I can give back and be the man that she deserves. That's so important.
Mhm.
You know,
That
it's always a two-way street, and that's what we genuinely have. And we're still early on, and we're still
You're in the honeymoon.
honeymooning, but she is really wonderful, and I love her dearly. I do.
Well, I can say something. Like I said, I've known Stephen for quite some time, and sitting here talking to you today has probably been the most enjoyable conversation I've had with you. I'm so proud of how far you've come, all the work you're doing. Your love for Jesus is just so beautiful, and so
Thank you.
you surrendered. Look, you actually
I have.
surrendered.
I had to.
You surrendered, man, and that's beautiful. That's the
It
first
is.
step too. It's surrendering and saying, God, just take this
Just
from
take
me.
it,
Just
man.
take
Please.
it, man.
And once you do that and genuinely do that, the blessings come. They come one after
Sometimes
another.
quickly, sometimes
Sometimes
slowly. They will
Sometimes.
all materialize.
They really do. They really do. And I never ever want to feel that way again.
The
I keep
sense
thinking
of
about this time last year,
hopelessness.
just being hopeless and giving up. Even though I knew I was still taking care of things, still, had money, had my hot rod,
You were functioning.
I was functioning, yeah,
You
but
know-
I was
we know how
miserable.
miserable we are inside. We are so
Miserable.
miserable, and the thing that we cling to is killing us and eating us.
But you know what feels so good is that whenever you finally break out all that, and you don't have to hide that addiction, you don't have to be fake. You can just be honest about everything. And if people don't like your past, well, they don't need to be in your life if they're going to bring you down.
That's right.
Surround yourself with positivity. I'm surrounded with positivity.
And people who love you no matter what.
will always
Yes. Because you know what? Look, I've always said this, I'll say it again. If you are getting sober or clean because of someone else, go ahead and go back out. Go ahead and it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It
If you're
will
doing
not
it, you have
work.
to do it for
You
yourself.
have to do it
by
for
yourself.
You've got to be tired of your own shit. You've got to be done.
Yes.
I saw something the other day that said, your job is to plant the seed. Don't get your roles and God's mixed up, because it takes a change of heart to truly do this.
Mhm.
All we can do as recovered people is plant the seed. Until they decide to change their heart, it's not going to change.
Well, we plant the seed and then,
Hopefully it manifests.
maybe God's going to put a little bit of rain on it.
And I've been touching base with people on Messenger, some old friends. I don't want to bring up any names, but I've been reaching out. I don't want to bring up any names, but I've been reaching out.
In with,
Yeah.
and
Abby Thatcher went to Bill's house and was like, Bill, I'm sober. And Bill didn't want to hear that shit because Bill had a hard concept
Right.
with God. And Abby was like,
I found religion.
I found
Yeah.
religion.
Mhm.
And
And
Bill was
I
like,
don't want to be that guy
"Hell
who's
no."
trying to be a Bible beater on people and you're going to hell and all this. No, I just want, if one person gets anything out of this, I'll be happy.
That's exactly what we want.
You know what I mean?
All
all
we
of
can
this-
pray for is
If all
one
of this
person.
helps one person, we've now done how many? 6 or 7?
Yeah.
I don't care if we do 100 of them. If it helps one,
Yep.
please, if you're still using or drinking, listen to this stuff. Let it saturate your soul. And please give yourself a try because you're worth the work.
Absolutely. You know,
You
that's-
are worth it. You
and
are
all of
worth
us, we are worth it. And you know, that's the biggest thing was me learning to love myself because I live with so much shame, so much guilt, and that is just a vicious
Guilt,
cycle
shame,
for
remorse.
addiction. It's the worst thing ever. That's the devil working.
The GSR, guilt, shame, and remorse.
Yeah.
And
It's
Yeah.
horrible. But if you can really truly just give your stuff to your creator and get that relationship, you'll learn forgiveness. You'll be able to forgive yourself, and that's the biggest. That's you asked me what the biggest thing about my staying sober is. It's the forgiveness that I gave myself
That's
for
it.
all the bad shit that I've done to people,
And
all
the
the
forgi-
hearts that I broke, and all the crap that I've been, the lies, and it feels so good not to have to cover my addiction.
Your alibis.
Yeah, and remember the lies and alibis. It feels so good to be genuine and pure.
You're light on your feet today.
Man,
You're not weighed down by
not at all.
And-
And even though, my life is not easy right now, I need a place to live. Been staying with friends who have been helping me. I'm so blessed with that. But I don't have my own place. My truck still needs a motor. Sure, I got my bike and spring's coming. I'll be mobile again. But there's a lot that needs to be done, and I'm a bit frustrated.
You're working in
Yeah.
progress. All of us are. Look, I have those things. I have a car and I have a house. My life's not perfect.
Yeah,
I'm a work in progress every day.
yeah.
There are things that
But it's
I
coming.
need to do. It's coming. It's
It's
all going to
coming.
be here.
Yeah. And then, I had to take the time to heal, and thank God I could do it in a safe place. Like I say, I love Rachel.
Thank God for her.
She is my sister from another mister, and she is absolutely wonderful. She's got the biggest heart you've ever met of anybody in my life.
People are going to be banging down her damn Facebook.
I asked her, we actually just left there because I did a little side job this morning for a good friend of hers. And I was like, let's go see Rachel for a little while. We got 3 hours to kill before I have to go do this today. And he's like, yeah, let's do that. So we rode out, and it was so good to see her. And she's like, I was like, look, here's a new testimony, and you're a big part of this. Can I please say your name? And she's like, okay.
Thank you,
But she likes to
Rachel.
keep her stuff private. But she's a beautiful soul, and that woman, I'm telling you what, there's a reason everybody loves Rachel. The infectious laugh, the genuine, her smile. She makes you feel good about yourself.
There needs to be more Rachels in the world.
There definitely needs to be more Rachels in the world.
Now, you said something about the forgiveness. About forgiveness. It came down to it, it was like, this forgiveness is for my benefit, not for yours, sweetie.
Right.
Because one day, you're going to...
She did it face to face.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Forgave this person face to face and said, you know what? I'm going to give, you tell it.
I just said, you know what, I'm going to give you something that you never thought I was worthy of, and that is forgiveness. And
Yeah.
I had it written down, and I said, I'm going to forgive you for X, Y, and Z, and not that you will ever ask for forgiveness, because in my opinion, you don't think you've done wrong, and that's fine. You clean up your side of the street whenever you want to,
Yeah.
but me giving you forgiveness don't have dick to do with you. It's got to do with me.
It's time. Time's up. Sebastian, come restart this real quick because we got to say our goodbyes. You want to end it there?
That was a quick hour. Man, that flew by.
Is that it?
What is it doing now? Live is.
Oh, you got to put the pieces in the
Here we
puzzle.
go.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, that forgiveness is.
That's the big, you asked me what the biggest thing about my sobriety is.
is
That's way up there. Because if you don't love yourself enough to fix yourself, you're not going to do it.
and that's something that people don't understand is that whenever we, as alcoholics, addicts, whatever, these moves that we do to go within our program, mine's AA.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not, mine is AA. It's not for your benefit, it's to keep me sober.
Yep.
If I hurt your feelings by not coming around, not showing up for certain things, it's not because of you, because guess what? I'm more important.
When it
And
comes
that's
down
It's
to
a
it.
selfish program.
It has to
I
be.
was a selfish
It has to be.
bitch whenever I was drunk.
Yep.
I was selfish. I didn't care nothing about anything except for win the next ball. Now I'm selfish as far as protecting my sobriety.
The only
Yes.
person that protect your peace and your sobriety and your well-being is you.
Yeah,
I
that's
posted
true.
last week on the book. Nobody can take my sobriety, but I can damn sure give it to them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there's nobody worth it because without my sobriety, I'm right back on that couch dying,
That's right.
feeling sorry for myself.
And they're all living.
And that's the
And
the
do you
most
think
dangerous
you
thing is feeling sorry for yourself.
Do you
That'll
think
take
any
you
of
right back
us
there.
give or
It
sitting
don't.
there thinking about what I'm doing? Hell no, they're out doing
They're
their
living
thing.
their
And
life.
the people that are out there, I'm sure there's people out there hating on me right now. Somebody in particular hating on me because I didn't fix her car because I said I was going to. But you know what? I'm not coming back around you again because I know what's there, and it's not necessarily just the drug. It's everything that goes with that drug, and all the self-doubt, all the pity, all the
Oh my
just
God.
it's just so disgusting not
The
to love
pity
yourself.
Parties.
Yes.
that people
Oh, yes. All she'll do
will
is sit around and just complain about what people don't do for her all day while she lays in the bed sucking on that glass dick all day long.
You
And
know
it's-
what?
And it's sad. It's so
You got
sad
to
because you know what? A
protect
lot of me, part of me will always love her because it's sad, but it's true. But
But
from
you
a
have
way
to
far
protect-
distance. From
you
a way
have
far
to
distance.
protect yourself.
Exactly. And the biggest thing was just knowing that I'm worthy of love. Knowing I'm worthy.
We're all worthy.
And it's okay for me to accept love. That was my biggest problem that I had for so many years, and I didn't even realize it.
Do you think it stemmed from maybe not being told that as a child?
I think there's a lot to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
In and out of foster homes, in and out of group homes. A father who was just hell, with his own demons, and he never, back in the 70s and 80s, people didn't worry about mental health. They didn't proactively go out to fix mental health, and that's just the way the generation
And it was
we grew up
something that was
in.
never really even talked about either.
It really
It
wasn't.
really wasn't
Yeah.
talked about. There weren't suicide hotlines and everywhere people saying, I embrace my mental health and I'm bipolar and
But
I'm this and I'm that.
through all that, I never really, and I had Lee told me that years ago. She said, "Why don't you want to accept love? Why can't you just?" I was like, I do, my own selfish mind, yeah. But looking back, and since I've actually really done this, that's the biggest thing: is loving yourself enough to do it. Loving yourself enough to know that you're worthy and acceptance of love, knowing that you can, and then taking the steps so that you can give that love back.
We say all the time, you got to give it back.
You got to. You got to.
Give it away, keep it.
Steve, we are so grateful you decided to come
Yes.
on today.
I'm happy I did. I've been nervous.
Good, I'm glad you.
But I'm happy I've
so
done this.
glad because
And I
this
can't
is
wait to do
so
it for my
helpful.
church live.
Good.
I'm going to do this live for the church eventually. I want to take some more
I
time.
want to come. Let me know.
I will, definitely.
This
Definitely.
was awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
It's a heck of a story. You
Alright.
can't make this stuff up.
No.
God has a sense of humor.
Yes.
But he has also unbelievable love for each and every one of you.
Yes.
Accept it. All I
Accept
got to
it.
do is ask for it.
Acceptance. That's right. And know that you're worthy of that love. Ain't nobody out there that's not worthy of being loved. And that's what gets us through this life.
Amen.
It really is.
It is.
So if nobody's told you today,
We love you.
Yes.
we do love you.
Yes.
Go ahead.
There's
Kevin.
always help. 1-800-662-HELP, which is 1-800-662-4357. You can always go to findtreatment.gov. That's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Kratom hotline is 866-210-1303. Again, 1-866-210-1303. Suicide crisis lifeline 988, 3 numbers, easy to remember. Now, I will say that was just amazing. Your testimony,
Thank you.
that was really
I'm really glad that y'all let me get on here and do
really
this.
good. Just a lot of the stuff you said, as far as the devil coming at you looking like, yeah. So I think that's why I'm single. I think all the,
Mhm.
No, God's got a plan. There's somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Pray,
He's
pray,
got
pray,
a
pray.
plan.
He will
He's
send
got
you
a
somebody
plan.
good. And yes,
I
trust me.
am good with waiting.
I'm so lucky he said it. He did this as quickly as he did, though.
Although I do have a date next week. Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll
Go,
see.
girl.
We'll see.
Go get me a
He's a lucky
frappuccino.
Ain't he though?
Lucky man.
Go get a frappuccino. So,
Yeah.
Well, let's pray, guys.
That's
all
good.
right. Let's pray.
God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the dang difference.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank
Y'all
y'all.
later.
Keep it in the road, people. We love you.
Hold on, I'm still recording.
Okay. Awesome. Where's your restaurant?
How do I stop it? Okay.